Are you ready for a family favorite recipe? Well, come on along. Let me show you this week's family favorite recipe. So let's get cooking. Hello, family and friends. I'm Susan, and welcome to my home. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Sunday Supper. Tonight I'm going to be making some chicken spaghetti. It sounds unusual, but it is so good. Very easy to make, takes just a little bit of time. The cooking of the spaghetti takes the longest bit, but other than that, it is a great meal to make your family happy. So, let me get this ponytail up and let's get to cooking. And we're going to be making some chicken spaghetti tonight for supper. And of course it's Sunday supper. And let me go over what you'll need. You'll need some minced garlic, some butter, Italian seasoning, some olive oil, some diced tomatoes. I've got to get some milk in the measuring cup, but you'll need milk. 1.5 cups of chicken broth, which of course you know I use the chicken bouillon for my chicken broth. You'll need some mozzarella cheese. It calls for cheddar cheese. I don't have any that I want to put in. And I used Velveeta the last time and it was so good. So I'm using Velveeta again. 4 ounces of cream cheese, which is a half a block of cream cheese, and some spaghetti noodles. And I've already got the chicken boiling in the pan, so I can go ahead and get it cooked up and shredded to put in the chicken spaghetti. And I'm going to go ahead and get the noodles in the pot to cook. And then I'll bring you back when I start putting everything together. And I've got the oven heating to 400 degrees. I've got this pan on medium low. I've got my noodles going in the water. And I'm going to go ahead and put 4 tablespoons of butter into the pan to start melting. Now the next thing I'm going to do is put the onion in, which it called for 1 small onion. And I'm just going to use whatever leftover onion I have. And I'm going to go ahead and let this saute up until it becomes opaque. And then we'll start adding some of the other ingredients. And the onions are starting to become opaque and very fragrant. So now it's time to put in the minced garlic. I'm going to be putting in 3 cloves of garlic, which is 3 teaspoons of garlic. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to saute that. Make sure that you do not burn the garlic. It won't taste good if you burn it. Just saute it around. It doesn't take but about a minute for this to finish cooking. And then we're going to be putting in the 4 tablespoons of flour. Now I'm using self-rising flour because that's what I just happen to have right beside of me. You can use all-purpose if you want. And I'm going to go ahead and add the flour. That's 4 tablespoons of flour. I'm just going to sift it around all over. Now I'm going to basically make a roux while I'm frying this. And what will happen is this will absorb all of the butter and it'll start turning a little color. I've got it on about a 3 as far as heat wise goes. It's between medium and low. And I just want to get this all nicely absorbed and kind of cook the flour. That way it doesn't have the floury taste is what you're doing with this right now. And it looks like this is doing good. It doesn't say to get it any specific color like you would a roux for like a jambalaya or something like that if you were making homemade. So right now this is just combined and that looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting in the other ingredients. Now I'm going to add the chicken broth in and you'll see what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually pour a little bit of chicken broth and then whisk it. That way it thickens up a little at a time and it doesn't make it extremely thin. As you can see, the flour just absorbs the chicken broth. Pour a little more in. Let it absorb that. I'm going to put in the very last of the chicken broth. And let this absorb in the pan to where it becomes a little bit thicker. Now that's looking really good. Now the next thing is to put in the milk. And I need the whisk back out. I'm going to go ahead and put all the milk in at one time. And then I'm going to whisk. I mean, basically, by what I'm kind of making, it's almost like a bechamel. It is a cheese sauce that we're going to be making with everything that we've got going in here. But it is so good. There's just something about it. I think that Velveeta, it doesn't call for Velveeta, it calls for cheddar cheese. That Velveeta sends it to a different level, I swear, guys. It makes it into a different kind of meal, and everybody loves it. So there we go. I've got that going on. And this is starting to simmer a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and add the cream cheese, and I'm just basically going to pull it real quick. It won't take but a second to get this all pulled into little spots and put it into the sauce. I'm going to go ahead and let this melt into the sauce, and then we'll come back and we'll add the Velveeta. Look how pretty that looks so far. Now I'm going to add, it says 1 cup of cheddar cheese. I'm putting in the Velveeta. I've basically got 2 decent slices that I've cut into little cubes, and I'm putting them in because Velveeta makes everything taste good. And I'm going to let this melt real quick. The spaghetti noodles are pretty much done. I'm just letting them set in the water for just a little bit until I get ready to put everything together. And it's about ready to put together and put in the oven, and it's almost up to 400 degrees, which is baking time. So let me get this melted, and then I'll bring you back and show you what this bechamel sauce looks like once it's all melted up. And look how awesome that looks. The Velveeta is pretty much completely melted in. Now I just have to go ahead and assemble all of the ingredients in the pan. Now I'm going to pour the bechamel sauce into my baking dish that I'm going to use. Go ahead and get that in there. And I'm going to go ahead and put the diced tomatoes in with it. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and mix this around until all of it is mixed very well together. And then we will add the spaghetti noodles to this. All right, and that looks very well mixed. There's still some light places in it, but by the time I put the spaghetti noodles in there, it shouldn't be. And let me go ahead and get the spaghetti noodles themselves. And I'm going to go ahead and get those. Drain off a little bit of the liquid from them, and then put them in here. And here is all of the spaghetti noodles in with the cheese and the tomato mixture. And I'm just going to go ahead and mix all this together to where all of the noodles are well coated with the cheese mixture. This just seems to work real good right here. I'm going to do it one more time because I'm also going to add the chicken in that I've put salt and pepper on and Italian seasoning, and I've shredded up to where it's nice and loose. That way I don't have too many big chunks. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it on the spaghetti, and then I'm going to mix it into this spaghetti. There we go. Make sure it's all incorporated well. And it smells amazing. And it calls for 1 cup of mozzarella shredded. I am just going to put some mozz over the top. Make sure it's well coated because this is going to give it more of a cheese pull on the top. There we go. This is ready to go into the oven for 15 minutes on 400 degrees. And if you want the top a little bit browner, you can put it on broil to get a little bit browner. I think I may have put it on broiled last time. We'll see how it works out this time. So let's get in the oven at 400 degrees for 15 minutes. And I'm going to make some Mandy's green beans to go with the chicken spaghetti. I have got 2 pieces of bacon cut up in this pot to basically cook down and render their nice bacony juices. And then I'm going to be using 2 cans of green beans. She uses the Italian green beans, but I just have regular green beans, so I'm going to use them. Some garlic garlic powder, and a little bit of brown sugar in the mix. And we're going to go ahead and get this cooked up to go along with the chicken spaghetti. The bacon is just about done. I'm going to go ahead and pour in the 2 cans of green beans. get those mixed around a little bit. Probably should have used a bigger container, but that's okay. The chicken stock, which I'm using 1.5 cups of chicken stock. I'm gonna add a little bit more water. I bet probably could have used 2. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. Whenever I used to make my green beans, I used regular sugar and ham. So I haven't ever tried this recipe. I'm trying it tonight because everybody says it's awesome. So we shall see. And now basically I let this cook. I like to call mine cooked to death green beans because I cook them for so long. But I'm going to go ahead and let this cook down to where the juice is almost non-existent and the green beans are just about cooked to pieces. So that's probably going to be in about 10 minutes or 15 minutes, depending on how hard I cook it. But we'll come back whenever I get ready to plate the green beans up. And I just got the chicken spaghetti out. I don't know if you can see it's still sizzling. I'm going to let it cool down just a little bit so I can get it out and it won't be too hot. And then I'll show you what it looks like whenever I plate it up. So let's plate it up. Let's see if I can get a cheese pull out of this, or let's see if I can get it on my plate without it falling off. Okay, that's good. That's good. Oh, I got under it. Oh, it's kind of going everywhere, but oh, there we go. Look at that. Whoop, I got some stragglers there. All right. Can y'all see that? Look how good that looks. So chicken spaghetti. I'm going to get some green beans out. And a piece of garlic toast. Now, that is what I call a meal. And here you go. Chicken spaghetti, Mandy's green beans, and a little bit of garlic toast. And isn't that good? Look at that. And that's what's for supper Sunday night. I hope you enjoyed this week's Sunday supper. That chicken spaghetti is so good. You need to try it for your family. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. We would love it if you'd become part of our channel's family. And until next week, have a great week.
Please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Pinterest and ring that bell. And let our family be a part of your family.